Egyptian Mummification by Ira. For ancient Egyptians, mummifying a body was a simple transition to eternal realm. To ensure the soul's spiritual immortality, skilled embalmers invented mummification. This process of preservation was done to protect the physical body from decay, to ensure the deceased could thrive in the afterlife. The people who performed this supreme duty were also highly trained embalmers, providing this service to pharaoh's royalty and elite citizens of Egypt's society. The first step in Egyptian mummification is to check if the deceased is actually dead. Oh, wait, she's still alive. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, she's dead. We can now announce the death to local community and deliver the body to embalmers. Once the embalmers received the body of the dead, they began washing the body with sacred Nile water to prepare the deceased for successful eternal journey, cleansing with palm wine to disinfect, and applied scented oils to impart a pleasant smell. Through the nasal passage, a long hook-shaped tool was inserted to reach the brain by embalmers. They broke the brain into a fluid-type substance, turned the body over to drain the liquid, used the tool to draw the remaining small piece of brain out through the nose, and then discarded it. This was done so that the deceased still looked familiar, as if the skull was damaged. The person may look deformed and unrecognizable. A small incision on the left side of the abdomen was made to remove the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines in this exact order, then preserve them in natron for 40 days. Because the Egyptians believed that the heart was needed for the core of a person's personality, they left it in place. However, in later methods, the embalmers sometimes removed the heart for a short period, lasting only a few days, to preserve them in natron or resin just before putting it back in the chest. After which they placed them in canopic jars. Liver was kept in a jar decorated with the human-headed god Amnesty. The lungs were kept in a jar decorated with the baboon-headed god Happy. The stomach was kept in a jar decorated with the jackal-headed god Zumetiv, and the intestines were kept in a jar decorated with the falcon-headed god Enough, which all contributed to keep the organs healthy for a smooth afterlife. After organ removal, extraction of moisture began. The Egyptians poured baskets of natron and left the body untouched. Once that's complete, the whole body cavity was filled with linen, sawdust, or resin-soaked bandages forever. This step was done to restore the natural shape of the body, since removal of internal organs left it collapsed. Next, the dry heart was placed back into the body. Embalmers then used linen bandages to wrap the body in layers with resin coatings applied in between to seal and protect the body. Some amulets and protective charms would be placed among the wrapping, following ritual rules. The wrapped mummy received a funerary mask, which was painted to look like the deceased before being placed back in the coffin. Afterward, the opening of the mouth ceremony was performed to restore the deceased's senses. Embalmers used a ritual tool called the adze to touch the mouth and eyes, restoring the deceased's senses so that spirit could breathe, eat, and speak in the afterlife. At this exact moment, the soul entered Hall of Mat for the ultimate one-day spiritual trial, the weighing of the heart. Guided by the god Anubis, the deceased's heart was placed on a golden scale and weighed against the feather of truth. If the heart was heavy with sins, it was devoured by the monster Amit, wiping the soul from existence. However, if the heart was perfectly balanced, the individual was granted entry into paradise. The coffin was then surrounded by furniture, food offerings, clothing, weapons, jewelry, and prized possessions that they would need in the eternal realm. Ultimately, mummification connected moral life and external existence. This 70-day preservation prepared the deceased for the gods. It was driven by the belief that an intact body was necessary for the soul's survival. Executed by skilled priests, this sacred art ensured Egypt's elite conquered death to live forever.